Unscripted.
Now, while this has been a crazy sort of time for everybody in regards to the next generation of consoles, obviously there are some problems and there's going to continue to be some problems. Somebody actually asked me, or I've had a few people sort of ask me about this, and I sort of did some research on it. Now I got an answer, so I'm going to be able to answer some questions that people had in terms of some problems that people were having with their PlayStation 5. Again, is this going to be a huge problem for everybody or everything? I mean, this is something actually that would affect everybody, and we actually got an answer to it. So I feel like that's something that is worthwhile doing a video on as well. Like for me personally, I think we're always going to see problems. No matter who we are, no matter where we are, we're always going to have some sort of problem that's going to be difficult to deal with, or that's going to sort of give us some kind of issue or trepidations with our consoles or whatever. And this just happens to be a situation where we're sort of stuck with what we got, and it doesn't mean that it's going to always be that way. I guess there could be updates later to fix the problem, but at the same time, when developers are out there saying it, it does kind of make it a little bit sort of understated, and you're like, well, it'd be nice, but is it a be-all, end-all type situation? I don't think it is, and I think that that's going to be something that we're going to cover in this video as well. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. Happy Thanksgiving, first of all. Hopefully you guys that are celebrating here in the States, my friends and stuff like that, you guys are all doing good, and you're spending time with family, friends, loved ones, gaming, however you choose to spend it. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. And if you guys really want to help out my small channel, listen, I understand it. I'm just a small YouTuber. I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. Obviously, I'm content. I'm proud of what I do, and it's a good hobby for me, and it keeps me busy and my mind occupied. So in stressful times like this, YouTube has been a real help for me personally. So you guys liking the videos, that's all I ask, and it's free for you, and it means a lot to me personally. So thank you so much. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. My original goal of 1,000 subscribers all those years ago still rings true, man. Still blows my mind that anybody would watch my crappy videos, but I appreciate it. So I want to get into this. So there's been various games that actually support certain things on the Xbox Series X and not the PlayStation 5. One of those instances, is, let's say, Rocket League. Rocket League, the developer is updated the game so that it supports 120 frames per second via a patch on the Xbox Series X. The same thing actually happened with another game, that Star Wars Rogue Squadron games. So Star Wars Rogue Squadron got an update. It introduces 120 frames per second support on Xbox Series X and S, and variable frame rate support and more. So again, like, if you didn't know what that is, basically Star Wars Rogue Squadron update is live on all formats. That includes improvements on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S. It introduces 120 frames per second and up to 4K support on Xbox Series X and S, as well as an option to prioritize enhanced visuals or performance. The update also brings variable frame rate support and improved visual quality and lighting on PlayStation 5. The Star Wars 3.0 update brings controls, cosmetic customizations, and gameplay improvements. So they fixed a lot of issues and stuff like that. But meanwhile, the improved visual quality and lighting on PS5 gets fixed via a patch, but there is no sort of 120 frames per second option. And you might go, well, what's the deal with that? Why do we not have a situation where we can fully support and get 120 frames? Is it not possible? Well, why is the Xbox Series S getting that? Well, now we know why. Rocket League is the same way. It gets 120 frames per second support for a minor patch on Xbox Series X. So one of the big selling points of the next gen consoles, for me personally, was the 120 hertz mode, right? I bought a TV for it, right? I mean, I spent over $2,000 for a TV for this thing. So for games running at 120 frames per second on TVs. Obviously, we're already seeing a number of Xbox and PS5 games running at 120 frames per second. Some existing games are only being updated with 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X and not the PS5. Call of Duty Warzone, for instance, Rocket League, and of course the aforementioned Star Wars Rogue Squadron, they only include 120 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, and Activision hasn't commented on why Warzone on Xbox Series X has support, but not on the PS5. But Rocket League developer Psyonix has revealed to Eurogamer that it's more complicated to enable on the PS5 side, which I guess is a design flaw. They said this: enabling 120 Hz on Xbox Series XS is a minor patch, but enabling it on a PS5 requires a full native port due to how backwards compatibility is implemented on the console, and unfortunately wasn't possible due to our focus elsewhere. The PS5 is capable of running existing PS4 games at 120 frames, but there's clearly more work involved for developers to enable it. In the short term, this could mean we'll see more instances of games running on the PS5 without 120 frames per second, but appearing on Xbox Series X with the higher frame rate. So basically, it's going to be easier for developers to sort of implement this via the backwards compatibility and stuff like that via just a simple patch on Xbox consoles, whereas it's a different story with the PlayStation 5. It's only been easier for developers to implement this on Xbox Series X side because the Microsoft built 120 Hertz support into Xbox One years ago. The Xbox One X and Xbox One S were also updated to support variable refresh rates back in 2018, alongside an option for 1440p video output, while Sony has only just started supporting 120 Hertz with the PS5, but the console still doesn't support 1440p mode. The 120 FPS support won't be an issue in the long term, as more developers will be building native PS5 games, but as developers continue to release cross-generation games for Xbox One and PS4, there's likely to be a mix of what's supported. There are signs that this could improve, though. Bungie is planning to update Destiny 2 on December 8th with 120 frames per second support on both Xbox Series X and PS5 for its Crucible mode. So, you know, take heart, take heed. It's not going to be always that bad or that negative of a thing. You know, I do feel like it's an instance where we probably will be getting more and more support for this as time goes along, and you could just say, well, you know, Rocket League, that's an old game. Warzone, they'll probably will eventually port that. You have to think, I mean, listen, PlayStation is their biggest audience for Warzone. You have to figure that they will probably figure out some way to do it. Now, it will probably require a complete full re-download of the game, which, holy cow. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's going to be fine because people want this kind of thing to work out. But it looks like a lot of these quote-unquote old games are definitely going to be, you know, a situation where we see this sort of happening a little bit here and there, and I think that that's fine. I really do think that it's one of the situations where you know, that just kind of happens out of the blue. It's not really a thing that is going to completely destroy anybody's time on on the PlayStation 5. It's like, you know, it sort of is what it is, but at the end of the day, I do feel like this is, you know, just one of those things that sort of happens, and I'm sure we'll see, you know, plenty of support for the games, especially like the new games. I think we'll get a lot more support and stuff like that. Like, am I going to sweat not playing Rocket League? I haven't played that game in years. Am I going to sweat, you know, one of the things you might go, oh, well, 120 frames, that's huge for, you know, Squadron, but to be honest with you, if you're playing that on PlayStation, you can play that whole game in VR, in PlayStation VR. So even though the frame rates are better on Xbox Series X right now with the 120 frames, like the exclusive stuff, like you know, the VR mode and stuff like that is pretty much exclusive to the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. So again, I do feel like that's something that is a bit of a problem, but at the same time, is it a huge problem? Is it something that's going to totally destroy what we're trying to do as gamers? No. Is it a feather in the cap for Microsoft right now? Yeah. You know, hey, congrats to Microsoft. They were able to sort of pull this off and, you know, get this out there. So I do think that that's very interesting. And I do think that that's something that, you know, we'll have to kind of look into as time goes along. But again, you know, very interesting stuff. You know, a bit of a problem. But again, the fact that, like, Destiny 2 is able to update this, I do feel like, you know, it's just one of those situations where they're going to have to learn how to do it, and do it if they want to support the largest fan base. Like, let's just be real, the larger fan base right now and into next generation is obviously going to be the PlayStation. So that's something that these developers are going to have to deal with and work out as well, which again, I'll link these articles so you can check them out. But do you look at this as terrible news for PlayStation? Are you like torn up by it? I can't play Rocket League at 120 frames. Oh my gosh! Is this something that has you bummed out or whatever? I would really love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. You can sound off below, or Twitter, or PSN, or Xbox Live, however you want to do it. And I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch another one of my videos. Like I said, have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.